Hello guys, so welcome to KO Tutorials. So let's continue with the next part of this tutorial. So let's get started. So as you can see over here, we have started with the lighting of this particular interior over here. So now we'll be continuing it. So very first of all, what I'll be doing over here is we have assigned some of the lights over here. I can assign the beams over here for the lights if required. So I can just assign a bit over here for the lights. I'll just duplicate this over here also. Select this both. I can just go into the material editor and I'll slightly add a Vray light material over here. That's it. Alright. So I'll again go back to the camera view and you can see how it looks like. Much better. So now I can add an HDRI map if required. So let's again go into the material editor. I'll go into the material editor over here. I'll go into this get material. I'll go into the Vray, get material and Vray HDRI over here. I'll just search Vray HDRI. I'll just assign an HDRI map. So if you have an HDRI map, I can easily assign an HDRI map over here. So let's assign an HDRI map. You can assign an HDRI map. I'll make it as spherical. If you have some kind of a night HDRI map, you can add that also. I can add this. After that, I'll again go over here. I've already placed one Vray light. I'll slightly shuffle this over here. I'll go again into the material. I'll drag this HDRI map over here. Go into the rendering, environment, and into the environment we'll do the same over here. Let's just add an HDRI map over here and let's see how it looks like. So I can just add an HDRI map. Alright. Now looks much better, no doubt. If you want, what I can do over here is you can make this wood a bit lighter. If it is possible, that can also be done over here. Let's go into the rendering. Let's go into the render setup. So I'll go into this Vray. Let's do some render settings which is just left over here. So first let me save this file. Go into the rendering, render setup. I'll go into the Vray. I'll set it as bucket over here. Into the image sampling, go to the image filter. I'll set it as Vray lens os filter can also be do over here. We'll keep that. Minimum subdivisions, I'll keep it as 6 over here. and use local subdivisions. I'll increase the minimum samples. The noise threshold, I'll reduce it over here to 0.001. So for reduction of noise, I'm doing this. Let's again go into the environment over here. The GI environment, we have a GI environment. If you want, I can just drag this GI environment onto the scene over here. So that can be done. Or if you have a night HDRI, I can take that night HDRI image also over here. That can be done. I'll just save this file over here. So I'll just call up a map. I'll just call up an HDRI map over here. So I'll just call up a night HDRI. So I'll just download an HDRI map. Any of the maps. So I'll just save as it. I'll just save as it. I'll again go into this. I'll go into the material, and instead of this, I'll just take this HDRI map over here. Again, I'll select this light. I'll clear this. I'll drag this over here. I'll go into the environment. I'll clear this. I'll drag this back and go into the render setup. Into that, we have an HDRI over here also. I'll drag this over here. That's your HDRI map. I'll save the file once. So now looks better. After that, now what I can do over here is like, again I'll go into this. First I'll just again off this. Let's go into the render setup. So let's go into the render setup, and again I'll go over here. I'll set the color mapping as exponential. So we have different color mappings, you can change that if required. Go into the GI, that's totally perfect. The light bounce we have set it accordingly. And the subdivisions we can definitely variate it. I'll keep it as 170 by 60 over here. That's your subdivisions, you can see. Controls the quality of individual GI samples, makes things faster. So if you make it less, it will give you blotchy results. You can see over here, higher value produces smoother images. I can increase it if required. Interpolate samples, used to interpolate the indirect illumination. So as you can see over here, smaller values produce results with more detail. You can see, but may produce blotchiness. So you can do that accordingly. Preserve the blurring, and current preset I'll keep it as medium. I don't want in a very high. Also the light cache, the default is 1000. Set it to larger like 3000. It's written over here for more complicated interior renders and reduce flickering in the images and animations. So we can keep it to around 1500 to 2000 over here. Also after that we have something over here, that's your RAM limit over here. So we can remove that. I can keep it over here. So you can increase to 3000 for that. After that, again I'll save it over here. I'll just push it over here in this way. Let's go into rendering. Let's go into the environment. I have some exposure controls also. So if I want to control this exposure control, I can do that over here. So let's go over here and set it to Vray exposure control. For now, reduce the shutter speed to 20 over here. You can see that ISO, you can increase it to 100, 20, 15, and also you have some things over here, that's your neutral colors, daylight. So I can work with the temperature if required. If you want to go with some temperatures, you can utilize the temperature values also over here. I can make it as neutral also over here. So that was a shutter speed. Make it as 10 over here, and if I keep the ISO as 25, keep it as 100. So whatever is required, you can go with the exposure controls if needed, or I can just switch back to my original. That's your no exposure control. So we can just go with that, the original one. We'll keep it as it is over here for now. So I can just go into this lights over here. So I have defined this lights. If you need some of the lights, I'll again go back. If you need some of the lights, I can just select this. I can slightly duplicate my lights instance, or I can say a copy of it over here. So select this light if required. And you can slightly reduce the luminance of it if needed. So definitely you can change that whenever it is required. And let's see how it looks like. Alright. So guys, if any doubts, please put it in the comment section over here. So we'll be definitely compositing the light passes in the coming tutorial. So as you can see over here how we have set up an HDRI map. We have done some render settings over here. So we'll continue the rest of the part in the next tutorial. So thanks for watching this tutorial.